Hey everybody, Dr. Dan McClyman here with Beacon of Life Chiropractic in Royersford, and I'm here today to talk to you about bedwetting and the effect that nerve interference has on our kids and their struggles with bedwetting. So this is a topic that we speak to parents all the time about here in the practice, and I just want to shed some light on how the body functions, and when it functions properly, how that bladder control here in the low back area is regulated properly through proper nerve function, okay? And there's something that's called the phrenic reflex, and I just want to lay the foundation for you. As you can see here with the spine, this is what we work with, but I want to be honest with you, I really don't care as much about the bones as what those bones protect. And what those bones protect are your nerves, the nerves that come off of the spinal cord. So really, that's the master control system of the whole body. And what I mean by that is that your brain, it controls every single function in the body, not just some of the functions, but all of them. And the deal is this, is that how the brain communicates with your bladder, for example, is by sending messages from the top of the brain down the spinal cord and then out those nerve roots to the bladder function. And so many of the nerve roots here in the lower back that come out from these spinal bones, they go right out to the bladder, specifically at L3, L4, and L5, go to bladder function, okay? But in the top of the neck, specifically the middle part of the neck there's something controlled called the phrenic reflex by those nerves. And I want to describe this to you because, you know, I see a lot of kids, and we see a lot of kids in this practice that have difficulties with bedwetting, and parents are typically at a loss for, you know, what to do specifically to correct the cause of the problem, because we're getting the effect's bedwetting, but if we don't know what's causing it, and then we go through the struggles of the sleepless nights and the up and down, you know, trying to retrain our kids how to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, the alarms, there's medications, and there's a lot of struggle that comes with bedwetting in our children. And so I want to let you know, if the brain can't properly communicate with the bladder, it's not going to function correctly. Let's just keep it pretty simple. That's the way that it works. But specifically, the phrenic reflex is this, is that when you go to sleep, when your kiddos go to sleep, the respiration or the breathing starts to slow down, and it calms down. And what will happen is CO2, carbon dioxide, as our respiration is slowing down, will start to build up and accumulate at a higher level within the blood, okay? And one of the things that carbon dioxide does is that it inhibits smooth muscle function. So there's smooth muscle in and around the bladder, okay? And so if carbon dioxide inhibits that smooth muscle function, then when too much carbon dioxide builds up in the blood, we have trouble here regulating smooth muscle function, aka bladder function, retention of urine, okay, during the night specifically. And so here's the deal, is that typically when things are functioning normally, what they call normal physiology or normal body function, when the carbon dioxide level gets to a certain point within the blood, the body will trigger this phrenic reflex, which will temporarily increase the respiration or the breathing to start to get more oxygen in and less carbon dioxide in the blood to properly normalize the levels of carbon dioxide in the blood. You follow me? And so when that phrenic reflex kicks in, it regulates and buffers that amount of carbon dioxide in the blood. However, when we have nerve interference in the spine, specifically at the top and the middle part of the neck, this phrenic reflex doesn't happen correctly, okay? And so what happens is that carbon dioxide starts to build up as the respiration slows down as our kids are sleeping. And if that phrenic reflex doesn't kick in, guess what stays high? The carbon dioxide in the blood. And then what will happen is that smooth muscle function will be inhibited, hence we wake up and we have wet nights. Okay, and so that's the deal. If we can't regulate that proper bladder function, we wonder why we're struggling with bedwetting. And I want to say this, is that we at least need to check. We at least need to check for how that nervous system is functioning and how this phrenic reflex may be or may not be happening properly, okay? So I always say you want to start with the most conservative measures. You want to start with addressing the function of the body. Because before you have any effects, before somebody has a headache, or before somebody has high blood pressure, for example, or before somebody has something like sciatic pain down their right leg, there's always a cause. That doesn't happen out of nowhere. There's always a cause. So we say this, especially in healthcare, what gets measured gets managed. If you measure your blood pressure, if you measure your blood sugar, if you measure your weight, it will typically get managed, okay? And what we do here at Beacon of Life Chiropractic in Royersford is what we've done is we've set up a system here in the practice to be able to measure objectively with very, very specific and sensitive technology here in the practice to measure the function of that nerve system, to see if these nerves are functioning correctly or if they're not functioning correctly. So then we know, could this be causing that effect? Could this be causing the bedwetting that we're struggling with? Makes sense? So we always want to get to the root cause of the issue. I want to let you know that we're here to serve you. We're here to serve your family. So I hope that this brought some clarity to you. We're always here to answer your questions and to serve you in the practice. My personal email is drdan, drdan, at gobeaconhealth.com. Feel free to email me with any questions that you have. And our office number is 610-474-2481. That's 610-474-2481. Make sure that you mention you saw this video and let my team know, and we'll get you set up with a complimentary consultation and see how we can help you and your family. Look forward to serving you soon.